Tokyo, Japan, a city alive with chaos, movement, and endless noise. Millions of fleeting moments pass by unnoticed every second. But one man has the gift to pause time, transforming the city's raw energy into stunning, curated works of art. That man goes by the name Tatsuo Suzuki. Before we jump into Suzuki's story, I just wanted to quickly point out that he currently has a new book for sale called The Sound of Waves. This photo book isn't just a collection of pictures. It's a look at Tokyo through Suzuki's unique perspective. We highly recommend picking up a copy for yourself. How it all began. Suzuki's story starts in Tokyo, a place where centuries-old traditions coexist with the relentless push of modernity. Growing up in this city of contrasts, Suzuki was always a quiet observer. He didn't realize it at the time, but his sharp eye for detail and ability to notice the subtleties of human emotion would later become one of his greatest artistic strengths. What's surprising is that Suzuki didn't even pick up a camera until his 30s. Before then, he lived what many would call an ordinary life, working a corporate job, commuting through packed train stations, and moving through the daily routines of city life. But maybe that's what makes his photography so extraordinary. He knows the rhythm of the city not as an outsider, but as someone who lived it. When he finally picked up a camera, it wasn't just to take pictures. It was to unearth the stories hidden in plain sight. His late start as a photographer is a reminder that it's never too late to find your passion. It wasn't about having technical skills from the beginning. It was about seeing the world differently, something Suzuki had been doing long before he ever touched a lens. Honesty over perfection. Suzuki's approach is refreshingly raw, unlike many photographers who chase technical perfection or carefully staged images. His photos are imperfect, unfiltered, and unapologetically human. But that's the point. He doesn't just want you to see his images. He wants you to feel them. Take one of his most well-known pieces, the subway glance. It's a fleeting moment. A woman lost in thought on a Tokyo subway, surrounded by the usual chaos of commuters. In her expression, Suzuki captures something universal: vulnerability, isolation, or perhaps just exhaustion. Her story isn't explained, but it's there, and you can't help but wonder about it. "I don't just capture moments," Suzuki once said. "I capture their weight." And that's exactly what sets his work apart. His photos don't try to be beautiful in the conventional sense. Instead, they invite you to sit with the heaviness, the small joys, and the quiet struggles of life, as it happens. Breaking into the spotlight. For years, Suzuki quietly roamed Tokyo with his camera, capturing the city one moment at a time. He wasn't seeking fame. He was simply documenting the world as he saw it. But then social media changed everything. Platforms like Instagram gave Suzuki's raw, high-contrast images a global audience, and people quickly took notice. Soon, his work was being featured in international exhibitions and prominent photography publications. Critics praised his ability to distill the essence of urban life into his frames, while fans connected with the emotions his photos evoked. Suzuki's rise to prominence wasn't about flashy techniques or gimmicks. It was about authenticity. His success is a testament to the power of art that comes from a place of truth. When you look at his photos, you're not just seeing the city, you're standing in its streets, surrounded by its energy, its people, and its stories. The ethics of street photography. Suzuki's style is raw and intimate, but not without controversy. His up-close approach to street photography has sparked debates about privacy and the ethics of capturing people without their consent. Critics argue that his work can feel invasive, while supporters claim it's a necessary trade-off to show the reality of urban life. For Suzuki, the debate doesn't deter him. Art, he says, is a mirror to society, even when it's uncomfortable. His goal isn't to exploit people, it's to reveal truth. In the fleeting expressions and unguarded moments he captures, Suzuki reflects something deeper: the shared humanity of people navigating the chaos of city life. This ethical tension raises larger questions. Can art exist without boundaries? Is discomfort a necessary part of creation? For Suzuki, the answer is clear. Sometimes art has to push against the limits of what's comfortable to tell the stories that need to be told. To put his work in context, consider Henri Cartier-Bresson, the father of candid photography. Like Cartier-Bresson, Suzuki finds poetry in the mundane, but their styles differ. While Cartier-Bresson's images often exude a quiet calm, Suzuki's thrive on intensity. His photos don't just show life, they demand that you confront it. The intersection of chaos and stillness. One of Suzuki's most iconic photographs, Intersection of Time, captures the energy of a busy Tokyo crosswalk. The frame is filled with people moving in every direction, except for one man, standing perfectly still in the middle of the chaos. This wasn't staged. The man wasn't posing. He was simply waiting. But in that moment of stillness, Suzuki saw something profound. The man became an anchor in the storm, a quiet counterpoint to the frenetic movement around him. For Suzuki, this image is more than just a snapshot. It's a metaphor for modern life. Even in the busiest moments, there's always a pause, a chance to reflect, breathe, and find meaning in the noise. This ability to find stillness in chaos is what elevates Suzuki's photography from documentary to something more philosophical, a legacy etched in black and white. Today, Tatsuo Suzuki's work is celebrated around the world. His black and white images remind us that beauty doesn't have to be polished or perfect. It's raw, fleeting, and found in the most unexpected places. But Suzuki's work isn't just about Tokyo, it's about life itself. The next time you walk down a busy street, take a moment. Look at the faces around you, the tiny dramas playing out in plain sight. Who is lost in thought? As Suzuki's photography teaches us, the extraordinary is hidden in the ordinary. You just have to stop and see it. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Please subscribe and like the video, and we'll see you next time.